Welcome in to Slaughterhouse Sports. I'm Spencer G, and we're going to talk about Denver Broncos this episode. We're also going to talk about, we will discuss on this show the upcoming game, the Buffalo Bills hosting the Denver Broncos. So Buffalo is a great team. They're 13-3. Denver this year, very pleasantly surprised. Let's talk about what we're surprised about with the Denver Broncos this year. All right. I'm very surprised at the receiving core. Like, Marvin Mims is really breaking out and having his best season. I think he had a couple of touchdowns yesterday, so really a weapon. Speedy guy in the slot. Had a 98-yard touchdown against the Browns in prime time. So the receivers have been solid. Courtland Sutton's had a really nice year. Vele has come on as a 27-year-old rookie, kind of like Bo Nix. And this Broncos offense, guys, McLaughlin's running the ball pretty well. They have good running backs, okay? I think even Williams is out there running the ball as well. So Denver has really good running backs, and when they get in rhythm, their offense can move the football. You also look at Bo Nix, who's really taking care of the ball, and he's just played really, really sound, like, good football this year. He's looking like a real deal quarterback. He's looking like a quarterback that, if he stays healthy, he should even make it to a second contract in Denver. So if a quarterback plays on a franchise for like 8 years, he's a keeper at quarterback. In Bo Nix's case, that would be till like 33 years old. That's big time. So you look at Bo Nix, and he looks like a quarterback that, with the right pieces around him, he looks like a quarterback that can flat out win a Super Bowl if he's given 8 years of time in Denver. I believe also that he's probably going to make an AFC championship in his time in Denver if you give him 8 years, because I think he's looking that good. He's that precise as a rookie quarterback. Bo Nix is legit. He's faster than a lot of NFL guys, so he can run around, scramble, takes care of his body. The thing I love about him is that he steps up into the pocket and he'll throw the ball with his right leg, which is not the quarterback's plant leg. He'll throw the ball with his right leg, like driving into a throw. He'll step up into the pocket. He's very flexible, and he'll throw it with his right leg, his off leg, leading him, and he'll hit like tight ends over the middle. And Sean Payton, I was dogging on Sean Payton for that Bengals game. Like, I've been dogging on him for, the way that he sometimes gets too conservative, too cute. In that Chargers game, he mismanaged, punting the ball and not going for it. Like, he blew a couple second halves in a row. But against Kansas City, Sean Payton was brilliant. And Sean, in some of these games, like when the Broncos were up against the brink, they're at 0-2, Sean Payton did a great job against the Bucs of like jumping out to a big lead, and that ended up being one of the biggest wins of the season. Sean, he came back against the Raiders twice when the Raiders had really good first quarters on Sean Payton. Also with Sean, I'll tell you guys, he had a great game on Sunday. The wide receiver screens that I didn't like, those went for huge chunk plays, and Bo Nix is accurate doing that. So as long as you can get some chunk plays here or there, you're good. And the thing about Denver, the thing is for Buffalo, is that Denver has never really gotten blown out, and Vance Joseph has kept this team in a lot of games. Ever since Kansas City, if we look at Denver's results, the Denver Broncos have had a pretty solid year. And even when they've had to go to LA and play the Chargers, they were just about winning that game. So Now, the Broncos have probably never played a quarterback. Like, I know that they played Mahomes, but Mahomes was in the middle of the season. They played Lamar Jackson and did get blown out. So their defense being ranked really high is emblematic of it's emblematic of a soft schedule. And listen, I'm rooting for the Denver Broncos. Like, Bo Nix from Pelham, Alabama. Like, Bo Nix has been one of my favorite quarterbacks, favorite players in the sport, okay, for ever since I've known about Bo Nix. There's no one who's faced more adversity playing quarterback in the NFL than pretty much Bo Nix. I mean, you can maybe argue Sam Darnold, but Auburn fans universally hated him. They universally laughed at the Oregon Ducks when Oregon took in Bo Nix. And Oregon Ducks fans, they watched Auburn games too, and they're like, this guy can't even read a blitz properly. You know, he's probably going to get beat out in camp. He's probably not even going to start for our team. He was in a quarterback battle. So that's how far Bo Nix has gone, that literally the team that he left in college, fans were mocking the other team for having him. And then he ends up being a Heisman finalist in New York, sets the NCAA completion record, goes literally like 22-5, and now he takes the Broncos for the first time to the playoffs in over 10 years and is that much better than Russell Wilson. So, looking at the Broncos, all right, and I'll pull up their schedule really quickly to point out to you guys that for Buffalo, this game shouldn't be a walkover win for the Bills. I'm confident that this game could be a fourth quarter game. I'm confident in that. I think Denver will find a way to like get into this game and really make it interesting. So of course you had the Broncos Colts, and that was the real like turning moment of the season was when Jonathan Taylor dropped the ball in the end zone. Because if Jonathan Taylor ran that in and didn't cough up the ball, really the Denver Broncos could have lost that game to the Colts, but they didn't. Then they played the Browns, and I guess the sliding doors moment of that game was the 99-yard touchdown to Marvin Mims. They beat the Falcons 38-6. That was a really nice win. Then they went to the Raiders, like I said, 29-19. Played the Browns at home, 41-32, and really Nick Bonnino out of Oklahoma. I looked at him as maybe undersized, but was great in college. I was like, okay, third-round pick here. Guy is amazing. Has 14 sacks, multiple interceptions. He's a playmaking elite-level player. Patrick Surtain's playing well. Cooper on that defensive line. Like, that defensive line is just playing their tails off this season. So it's a really fun team, and I was so down after the Cincinnati game, but the way that they came out against the Chiefs, and people will scoff and say it's their second, their backups. No other team that really had starters that played crappy opponents, like even the Bucs had to mess around with the Saints. That was the best game of Bo Nix's career. 26 of 29, 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, just impeccable stuff. And the team has confidence going into Buffalo. Like, the thing is for this game, why I like it psychologically, I just love the spot for Denver. It's a Sunday game at 1 o'clock, so you won't get a primetime Buffalo feel. You'll still get a really great crowd, but at night, I think it's a different beast when it gets colder in Buffalo. So I think that the weather can be okay. I remember the game with Skylar Thompson a couple years ago was also like kind of competitive a little bit at this 1 o'clock spot. So the Bills have all the pressure on them. I mean, when the Bills have played 1 o'clock playoff games, I think that they also played against Phillip Rivers and the Chargers, I want to say. Or the Colts or some weird, like Phillip Rivers was on a team that they played. But this is what I want to say is that the game is at 1 o'clock and all the pressure's on Buffalo. They're thinking Super Bowl. They have all the pressure on them. No one thinks Denver is serious. They're a 9-point underdog going to Buffalo. They think that the Bills are easily going to dispatch of Denver. They think, Denver, it's a cute story. It's what the national media thinks. It's a cute story. They're a 7th seed. Their schedule was kind of weaker. It's a rookie quarterback. It's a huge step to even get in the playoffs. So well done, Denver. Go give Buffalo a little bit of a game, and guess what? A round of applause, and everyone will be happy. You're just there to kind of like get beat, but maybe not be too embarrassing. But Denver's like, F that. The Broncos are like, F that. The guys in that building, they got something to them. They got a little bleep to them, and Sean Payton, too, is like that. So these guys are competitive. Sean Payton's been in this moment. Bo Nix has played in big, big games before. The team's been on national TV in big-time spots. They're not going to be spooked, I don't think, by the atmosphere or by this being the playoffs, and all of the pressure is on the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills went to Detroit. They outslugged Detroit in, really impressive win, and Josh Allen's probably going to be the MVP of the league, and he deserves it for the regular season he put together. But in this game, if the Denver Broncos can get after Josh Allen and force a couple of punts, the Bills are going to get really tight. The key is for Denver in this game is obviously, keeping penalties to a minimum, which is holding calls and things of that nature. And the refs are probably going to try to favor Buffalo because the ratings are going to be better if it's Buffalo and maybe hosting the Ravens. All right. But really for Denver and quarterback Bo Nix, it's really staying on schedule is absolutely paramount. Like, you got to play offensively, you got to stay on schedule. You can't really turn it over. So you got to try to take some, you obviously got to take some clock from Josh Allen and that explosive offense if you're the Denver Broncos. But the Broncos statistically match up well. They're only giving 96 yards of rushing. They have Allen in the middle of that defense. I think that they could shut down the running game. And then if you're able to somehow shut down Allen a little bit, I think that this will be a spar back and forth. I have confidence, actually. I think Denver can win this game. And I even said to my friend, I thought Arizona State could beat Texas a couple of weeks ago. So this could really be the upset right here. And we could point back to it, and maybe I'll be wrong about the game. All right. Sometimes you jinx it if you're overly confident about it. But I just want Denver to go in there very under the radar, very sneaky, and just have it be 1 o'clock on Sunday, get ready for that game, and then settle in, and then bam, Denver's right there at half. Maybe it's 10-6 Buffalo at half, or maybe it's, maybe Denver's winning 13-10 at the half, and then see if the Broncos can outslug Buffalo and go home with a huge, huge upset. So it's going to be statistically the Bills. I give them a lot of credit. They've had to reshuffle their defense. Joe Brady's a really good offensive coordinator. James Cook's been good. The Stephon Diggs and losing some of those veteran defenders, they've been able to, they've been able to put it together because Josh Allen's been that good of a quarterback. And honestly, Sean McDermott's done a really good job coaching this team this year. But Denver is here. And I'm telling you, Denver can win this game on Sunday.